Hey guys, usually when I create my paycheck budget videos, I'm normally showing you guys the finished product, the pretty version, and I give you all a brief overview of my process I take to get to my paycheck budget. But in this video, I thought I'd switch it up a little bit and walk you through step by step the raw deal, our raw process, and how we go from a monthly budget to a paycheck budget. So if you're interested in knowing how to create a paycheck budget, make sure you keep watching. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is OZELLA, and I help you organize your finances so that you can budget better and get out of debt. By showing you my journey and my processes, I share tips along the way that can help you guys. So feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. I've already created my monthly September budget, and that's what I'm going to be using to create my paycheck budgets. And I did create a video already showing you guys my process and how I create my monthly budget. So if you haven't checked that one out, feel free to watch that video after this one. I will link it in the description, of course, and in the cards. What I'm going to be using is my bill pay calendar and also my monthly budget that I created. I normally create our paycheck budgets at the same time that I do our monthly budget. I will create the paycheck budgets for the entire month. I know there are some people that do it by the week of or the week before, but I like to know exactly what's going on for the entire month, so I'll go ahead and do it all at the same time. Just to give you all a little background, now I am a 2-income household. My husband and I both work full-time jobs. I'm paid bi-weekly and he's paid weekly. So my paychecks can cover most of our main bills. So it makes sense for me to use our main bills under my paychecks, and then my husband's paychecks normally covers our cash expenses, our sinking funds, and then our child care. I lie to you not, each and every time I do our paycheck budgets, even our monthly budgets, I am doing it on a blank sheet of paper first, and then once all the numbers look good and everything looks finalized, then I will go ahead and pop it into my budget planner. So I normally start writing my paychecks first, and what I do is I write the dates that I'm paid. So I'm paid on September 4th of this month, and then I'm also paid on the 18th. And I write down the expected amount, the amount that I budgeted for each of my paychecks, which is $2,000. And then what I do is I will go to my bill pay calendar and pretty much just plug in all of my bills into a paycheck to make sure that it's being plugged into a paycheck so that that bill is not late. So I will start on the 5th, which is HP Inc., because this iCloud I included on my last paycheck, so I don't have to worry about this one. But HP Inc. is the next one. So I will go ahead and put it in under the 4th. And then I have Journey, that's due on the 8th. PayPal is due on the 9th. Straight Talk is due on the 9th. Nelnet is due on the 10th. State Farm is due on the 10th. Capital One is due on the 12th. Straight Talk is due on the 12th. Wyndham is due on the 13th. Netflix is also due on the 13th. Dominion, my utilities will basically be due around the 15th of the month. So that's Dominion, HRSD, and Newport News Waterworks. And then Chase is due on the 16th. And now on the 18th, I'm going to come over here because the next time I get paid is on the 18th. And the bill that's due on the 18th is going to be Discover. And then on the 20th, I have a personal loan due. And then on the 23rd, Fed loan. And on the 27th, I have Walmart and Fios. And then Sprint will be due sometime at the end of the month. And then rent is the other expense that I have. Normally, I like to split my rent in half because that's the biggest expense we have. And I like to not have it coming or depending solely on one paycheck. But as you can see, my first paycheck already has a lot of bills. So more than likely, I'm going to have to put my rent over here. So these are the main bills that we have. And then what I'll do is I'll just go to my monthly budget and see the amounts that I budgeted for, and I'll go ahead and plug those in. And I'll also go through and make sure I didn't forget anything. So for the challenge, I know that normally my husband and I split this challenge. So that's an expense I'll have to add to both of my paycheck budgets. I did forget to put in the green light and the kids subscriptions. So I'll go ahead and add that in as well. And now I will just calculate to see if there's any remaining funds left over after I take into account my income and all of the expenses under each individual paycheck. So as you can see, even though I have a lot of expenses on this side, over here the expenses add up to more. So I'm having a negative $411 over on this side. So this is where I will divvy up my rent. So I'll go ahead and take that $411 from over here and put it on this side. What I've actually decided to do was split my rent in half. So I'll have $541 on the September 18th and then $541 on September 4th. Now I should have $292 remaining on September 4th and then $130 remaining on September 18th. And I also cover our personal spending money when I do my paycheck budgets. And so I will go ahead and add that in. And so then I have $192 over here and then $130 on this side. So now I'm just going to do the calculations and make sure everything adds up to what it's supposed to be. Alright, so I have $2,000 over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the 18th. And another $2,000 over here. So what I will end up doing is I'll go ahead and do my husband's paycheck budgets and make sure that he doesn't fall short anywhere. And if he doesn't, I will go ahead and add these two amounts to my debt snowball. So the remaining amounts here on both of my paychecks will end up being our debt snowball. And basically, I do my husband's paycheck budget the exact same way, but instead of using my monthly budget, I will use the cash envelopes and the sinking funds because that is what he covers. So essentially, I'm doing like two different budgets, but this is what has been working for us since he's paid weekly and I'm paid bi-weekly. It's just it makes more sense for us that way. September 11th is the only week that we have to move something around. And Christmas is a sinking fund. So this is what I would normally take from. I'll take from a sinking fund that we are just contributing to that is not like date specific. So I don't have to contribute $150 towards Christmas on September 11th. So I'll go ahead and take from here. So this will end up being 120, which will cancel out that 30 and make it 0. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put that 30 down here on September 18th because I had $100 left over. So I'll just add Christmas there. And that was 30. So I'll end up with $70 left over. I like to do a zero-based budget, which means I am calculating down to 0. So every dollar will be budgeted for. The next thing I do is just run through all of my expenses on my monthly budget and I compare it to my paycheck budgets to make sure that I absolutely did not forget anything. And I can tell you right now that I've already looked and I forgot on my husband's paycheck. I forgot to do the weekly challenge amount that he contributes. And then I also forgot to set aside $100 for our homeschool sinking fund. So I'm going to go ahead and fix his really quick. Basically, this is what the raw paycheck budgets look like. Now, the final thing that I like to do before I'm ready to put my paycheck budget into my actual budget planner on my pretty budget templates is I like to use my Google Spreadsheets budget that I created. Now, I do have this budget linked in the description below, so if you like to use a spreadsheet and you're looking for one, feel free to check this one out. But I know this might seem like a little bit of overkill to do all of these different steps, but I really do like putting it in a spreadsheet because they do the calculations for me, and I try to make it as fail-proof as possible. So this is just what I do. At this point, you could just go ahead and finalize this budget and put it into whatever planner system you're using. But like I said, I like to go one step further. All right, so now I am ready to go ahead and transfer my raw budget onto my templates, my budget templates that you guys see normally when I create my budget. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I will actually go ahead and spare you all the extra time it takes me to transfer my raw budget into my printables. But basically, I just go ahead and plug in all of my categories and my amounts that's on this page, and I plug it into each paycheck, and I do that for each paycheck that we will receive for the month. And like I said, I like to do it all at once because I like to kind of know what's going on with my money throughout the month. And then if I need to make adjustments because our paychecks wasn't as much as I budgeted, or we received more, before we actually go ahead and start spending from that account, I will go ahead and tweak our budget and make sure that we zero out our budget. So that's the process that I take to create a paycheck by paycheck budget for the entire month. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what your paycheck budgeting process looks like, or if you even budget by paycheck, let me know. But until next time, guys, bye.